In the future, time has become the currency, and only one man can save audiences from an overly ambiguous film with too many plot holes. And that man is Justin Timberlake.
Wait, what? Justin Timberlake? Huh. Well, I guess we'll really see if time is on our side. This is Real School. Yes, it is. Screenwriter and director Andrew Niccol brings us In Time, what seems to be a great and original concept. Seems to be. But that's the thing, here we are once again, it's not an original concept. In fact, there's a short film called Price of Life, which had the exact same concept. That currency is actually time, not money. And apparently, surprise, surprise, there's a legal battle over this concept. Before this, Andrew Niccol has brought filmgoers, well, what can be best described as a sea of meh. He wrote Gattaca and The Terminal, and he wrote and directed Simone, which had Al Pacino in it, but good, not great films, and even good sometimes is pushing it. But what's great about most of his films is actually there's an underlying metaphor for the society we live in. The Truman Show, which is definitely his best film, is an obvious commentary on the lengths that will go for entertainment and reality television. It's very easy to see the comparison of the society that we live in with the made-up world of In Time. In the film, you have a countdown clock. Basically, after you turn 25, you have one more year to live, and you have to spend that year on day-to-day expenses. So while the lower class literally live day by day, the upper class, well, they stockpile time and live forever. You could make the comparison to the American healthcare system. Thank God I live in Canada. Now, while the rich can afford whatever they need, the poor, well, they die off because they can't afford simple things like medication or surgery that they desperately need. Also, it's great timing, no pun intended, that it coincides with all the protests in Wall Street and around the world and all the attention we're getting on the 99%. So on the surface, well, In Time seemingly has levels. So let's move past that. Let's move on to the actors. My biggest fear going into the film was that Justin Timberlake was not ready to take on a role like this all by himself. Granted, it's a sci-fi action film, but still he's the leading man. Not surprisingly then, I really felt that Justin Timberlake did not carry it at all. He is not a leading man. He may be a great singer, I'll give him that. He actually has a great sense of humor as well. The Saturday Night Live episode that he was in was one of the best I've ever seen, and he's had some great cameos in comedies throughout the last few years. But he couldn't pull off the action scenes, and he very much could not pull off the dramatic scenes. In fact, when his mother, spoiler alert, dies in the film, it's one of the most embarrassing crying scenes I've ever seen. Even when he's partnered with Amanda Seyfried for most of the film and they become the Bonnie and Clyde of time, really, the acting is very one-dimensional throughout the entire thing. Aside from them, you have Olivia Wilde, who apparently is aiming to be in about 85% of all films in 2011. But listen, I ain't complaining about Olivia Wilde being in any movie she wants. Oh, Olivia Wilde, if only I could tame you. That was creepy. You also have Vincent Kartheiser, who I have absolutely adored and respected as an actor, not because of his work in Mad Men, but actually way back in the day when he played Angel's son Connor. Everybody who knows Real School knows that I am a huge Joss Whedon fan, and of course love anybody who has been in any of his shows, so Vincent Kartheiser, it's great to see him on the big screen. Kartheiser is arguably the best actor in this film. He plays a character, Philippe Weiss, who is supposed to be about 110 years old. Kartheiser himself, obviously not that old. So the fact of the matter is, how do you convey the age and wisdom of a 110-year-old when you're in a 20-something body? Kartheiser does an amazing job in just subtle little twists in his facial expressions, in his movement or lack thereof, and he really portrays the fact that, yeah, he has been on this earth for over a century, and I really bought it. On the other hand, it was surprising that he was the best actor in this film because it also co-stars Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy, in my mind, really hasn't gone wrong. Maybe one bad film, and that was Red Eye. But you gotta respect a guy who Danny Boyle and Christopher Nolan wants to work with over and over again. And every time they do, he gives a great performance. But Murphy's character, the timekeeper, well, it really was one-dimensional once again. Very flat character. Seemed like it was a paycheck for him. But in actuality, nobody could really be blamed for this script. I mean, even if you're the best actor in the world, you probably couldn't make the best of this. There were so many plot holes, so many unanswered questions. There's one scene where Will, after his mother dies, says, "I'm gonna get them all." Something to that extent. Nobody killed her specifically. Who are you getting, Will? Society? The rich? The rest of NSYNC? There's not even a clear-cut antagonist in the film. I mean, Philippe Weiss becomes the antagonist because, well, really, he's the only rich guy we know. So automatically, because it's a movie about class structure, we're supposed to hate the rich guy. The film just keeps chugging right along, with no subplot, no rising action, and, well, no real connection to any of the characters. So I had to look real deep for this episode's For the Win. And it goes to Alex McDowell. This is when most of you say, who the hell is Alex McDowell? Well, Alex McDowell is the production designer. That's right, the best thing about In Time was actually the look of the film. It was part Matrix, part Logan's Run, and really the use of color, style, and costume was beautiful. But that's the best part. Is it an earn it, or is it a burn it? Well, how about we ask Justin and the rest of NSYNC, wherever they may be. Hey Justin, where's the plot in this film? The acting? My money? Well, you heard them. In Time is unfortunately a burn it. And let me tell you something. If In Time becomes true and currency becomes our time, I want my 2 hours back. So until the next episode of Real School, school's out.